してるより愛してることを伝える
Good morning, Terry here along with her amazing co-star Miss Lucy, and today is Motivational Mondays. Yes, so the other day I was listening to Steve Harvey. He's a great motivational speaker, and he said you do these two things and you will have the life you want, and I agree with him, but I want to add in the third thing, which is journaling. All right, y'all know my past. Really, really evil husband, wound up in domestic violence shelters, left with the clothes on my back and my little van, which was a 92 van. And I turned my whole life around because I do believe in the power of vision boards and journaling, but I got something new to the mix for you. And I've never done it. Well, I have done it, but I just didn't know what it was called. So, oh my gosh, her breath. Oh, you need a Tic Tac, honey. Anyhow, do these three things and you will have the life that you love. How do I know? Well, the third thing I didn't know I was doing, but I was doing it. It seemed to work for me. And, if you have faith in a higher power, you're going to be able to do this. All right, let's get started. Ready, Miss Lucy? So I believe in journal. Do 3 pages every day because the first 2 pages are basically all the diarrhea that's in your brain. And by the time you get to the 3rd page, you will have the answers that you want. But I love the way Steve Harvey put it. And he says it's in the Bible. And it's true. You have not because you ask not. What does that mean? You have not because you ask not. Well, if you don't tell God what you want, how is God going to give you anything? He can't. And if you're going like this, if I spin you around in a circle and blindfold you, how do you hit your target? So you have not because you ask not. And what should you do about that? How do you solve that problem? Well, I didn't know it, but I've been a list maker for years. And basically, you write down everything you want in your life. I don't care if it's a new car. What is it that you want? Do you want to travel? Do you want to be like Terry? Write it down. Where do you want to travel to? Be as specific as possible. And I'm going to show you some of the things on my list. Now, these are fun things I want to do. And these are things I'm going to do. Believe it or not, if you write this down, and the other thing is, read it every morning when you wake up. Read it every night before you go to your bed. Why? Because you're working on changing your focus. And that's very important, changing your focus. But, fun things I want to do. You all know I want to go to Crater National Park in Murfreesboro, Arkansas, and dig for diamonds. I want to swim with the manatees in Florida. This is my way of telling God, hey, this is what I want to do. Now, unfortunately, nowhere in here is there owning a pretty house or taking care of a house or anything. I want to be out there in nature. I want to go to art museums. And I have 10 pages stacked full of things that I want to do. And I also want to have, some of it, I wrote down, I want a beautiful coat that narrowed down like that. And here it is right here. I got it. My little fur coat that I showed you the other day. And I looked for a long time, but it was down in my dream book. I knew exactly what I wanted and it appeared. And at the right price too. So write down, make long lists. Do you want to go on cruises? How about jet skiing? Do you want to go hiking? Where do you want to go hiking? You want to be as clear as possible. And, it's hard. A lot of people stop maybe around 75 or 80, but just keep writing. Maybe you can't write 300 things down that you want to accomplish this year. I know that sounds like a lot, right? But you know what? You write down the 300 things, and maybe today you can do 75, and maybe tomorrow you think of 5 more things, and then 10 more things, and keep adding to the list, and keep writing that list. Now, the other thing that I do is I create vision boards. Now, I can't take my vision board with me, but I take a photograph of it. And I'm not going to show you guys my vision board because people will say, oh, they'll want to live my life. And the truth is, you got to live your life. Maybe you want to live part-time in your house and part-time travel. But those visions have to be clear to you. I've pretty much given up on housing and apartment and everything, and I'm having a great time living in my van. And it was a long, lengthy process. I was just explaining it to someone. that I was in my apartment in Redlands, and I had a Prius, and Sue Ann online, she helped me an awful lot figure out this stuff and helped motivate me. But it's like I took the interior measurements of my vehicle and taped it out in the house. And, I would put my toiletries in an area, my clothes in an area. I had a little cot for a bed that this back area was my bed, and I did storage. And I would practice, I think I did it for a month at least, just living in my car, just pretending, start a couple of minutes every day. And, for the back seat right here to where I would read, I had one of those little folding chairs, but it came out pretty neat. And then before you knew it, I transitioned into living in the parking lot of my apartment complex. Then after a month of feeling safe and secure, I would go out there and sleep at night. Then I moved to the street parking, which was right near the apartment complex. And like I said, if I ever got the knock on the door from a policeman, I did not. I did very good. I had a built-in excuse. Look, there's my apartment right there. The guy was beating up his wife, or I'd come up with some creative excuse to tell the cops. But it took little itty-bitty steps. But I have made so many vision boards, and I get really good material. AAA has a lot of maps and stuff. But not only that, every time I pull into a state, they always have these welcome centers, and I'm pulling out all these pictures of places I want to go. And you can do it online, newjersey.org, travelnewjersey.org, and it'll come up, and yes, please send me the brochures. They'll say, well, do you want a virtual planning book? And I'm like, no, send me the real thing. So, and I snap apart all the pictures of where I want to travel in. Y'all saw I have a picture of my Sienna, my new hybrid. That may not happen for a couple of years because of what the country's going through. And you know what? I'm okay with that. It's in my vision board. It's in my savings account. I put away money for it. And someday it'll happen. What's funny is doing a vision board and doing these things, you might start noticing that what you say you want and what you actually put down on a picture is two totally different things. It gets really hard because, when I began doing vision boards, it was, oh, I want a pretty little kitchen, and oh, isn't that a pretty little chair with a lamp? And by the way, at the same time, I want to be at Niagara Falls in the summer. I want to be down there at Florida during the winter, going to Disney World, and it's like, all of a sudden I started to see, well, you know what? Well, maybe I'll just travel part-time. And it's like, well, but I want to go do this, and I want to go do that. And through the years, I've learned how to edit. And editing is so important. It's like this January. I can't wait to be in Quartzsite with everybody, caravanning again. It'll be wonderful. Hopefully the RTR is going on. It'll be great to see everybody. But so how does an apartment work? How am I going to have time for a house? I do have a small little storage unit that I go and I visit and I pull things out. I keep my winter clothes in there, and it's time to get my winter clothes, and also things that I use to winterize my van so we don't get cold during the winter. So the three things that I find most important is, of course, journaling every day, but you have not because you ask not. Like I said, I have over 300 things in my book of things that I want to do, and it never stops. And the third thing is start creating a vision board. You can go to the library, get magazines. My library down the street, they sell old magazines for like 25 cents. For $2, you should have plenty to keep you cutting apart and gluing. Oh yeah, and get those 4 glue sticks down at Dollar Tree for $1. All right, hold on. All right, Miss Lucy and I will see you down the road. And I really can't wait to see you down the road. Put that on your vision board, or write that down in your book. I want to meet Terry at one of the caravans. Hey, that's a goal. And I want to meet you too. All right, Miss Lucy does too. All right, we will both see you down the road.
ことを伝える言葉がないのはきっと言葉に頼らずあなたのことを抱きしめて愛伝えるためなのかなあなたはいつも絶え間なく優しく包み込むような愛をくれるあとどれくらいわがままを言えば